Welcome to the licensing subcommittee. Just a couple of housekeeping things first. We're not expecting a fire drill today. If the alarm sounds, please leave the building through the emergency exits. Meeting will be recorded and then uploaded to YouTube following the meeting. Appointment of the chair for the subcommittee. I need a proposer for the chair.
Simon Carswell.
Second, Simon Carswell.
Thank you. So I'll chair the meeting. Any apologies for absence?
No.
Any declarations of interest?
No.
Any minutes of the subcommittee?
So what you agree is that this subcommittee, the minutes will be agreed by you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So I need a proposer and seconder to authorise the chair of me to read the accuracy of the minutes.
Proposed.
Thank you. Right, we'll go around and introduce ourselves and then we'll start. My name is Simon Carswell. I'm chair of this subcommittee and I'm a councillor for Street.
Good morning, Councillor. Good morning, I'm Councillor Marcus Cravis. I'm councillor from a division called Dunster, just down the road.
Good morning, I'm Councillor Simon Coles. I am a councillor for Taunton East.
We go around the room.
Morning everyone, I'm John Randall. I am a specialist for licensing and a licensing manager.
Good morning, I'm Kate Trunks, Assistant Licensing Officer for North.
I'm Claire Dickin. I'm with my colleague Ayushi and we work for Democratic Services, which means that we hold public meetings like this so councillors can make decisions.
Would you like to introduce yourself? Press the button.
Hi, my name's Sim, full name is Jermaine Pearson. I am the area manager for NTS Retail.
Good morning, Robert Bockheim, with the show of solicitors for the applicant. Thank you.
Thank you. I nearly forgot the legal advisor.
I am Manchester Legal Advisor for the Council.
Thank you very much, everyone. Now we'll proceed to the hearing. Basically, we go through a process whereby we hear from the licensing officer about the application. Then we hear from all parties, and at each time you'll get a chance to question, or the committee will get a chance to question people, get answers, and then at the end we sum up. After summing up, we'll retire to make a decision. We should be able to make a decision today. Hopefully, within a short time, you're welcome to stay for the decision, but you can go and then will be advised by post within 5 working days. Okay, so we'll start with the chair asking the licensing officer to present their report.
Thank you, Chair. So we're here for the consideration of an application to vary a premises licence. It's an application seeking an extension to the hours for the supply of alcohol, so those for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The premises is already licensed for late night refreshment, but there is no proposal to change those hours. Through negotiations with the police, the applicant has agreed to some tweaks to conditions of the licence, and those are explained within the report. I won't go on to talk too much about the application because I'll allow the applicant and his representatives to do that. So the application has been sort of changed following that agreement with the police. We have, as you know, had a relevant representation from the town council, which is included in the report. And I think I'll keep it short and sweet and leave it to you to ask any questions.
Thank you, John. Does anybody on the licensing subcommittee wish to ask John any question?
Not at this stage, I think.
Marcus?
The only question, I suppose the only question I've got, because obviously got the representation from the other, I've lost it, it's in my pack somewhere, but I think I remember what they said. Obviously, they're not here to answer questions, but is that a question I can ask you, the licensing officer? Because obviously you would have seen that objection? And do we know what is said in that objection about street drinking, etc., is a big issue? Because obviously I can't, there's no one else here to ask upon the people who made that representation.
We, as licensing officers, we haven't received any complaints in regards to that area of town about street drinkers and antisocial behaviour. As John said, the police have agreed conditions, so they're not. If the licence is extended to the full 24 hours a day.
Thank you, Kate, for actually answering the question I meant to ask, because you better than me. So in summary, there's been no complaints about this premises while they've been operated to.
That's correct.
Thank you. Does the applicant have any questions of the licensing officer?
No, no questions.
Legal officer?
No question.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll now ask the applicant to present their case.
Thank you. Good morning again, and can I just thank Councillor Kravis for A, not knocking me over as I aimlessly around the back of the building, and B, directing me to the entrance around the other side of the building. Otherwise, I would never have actually made it in. So thank you. We're pleased to be here, but we're not, if that makes any sense at all. So we have a license for 2 o'clock. We've actually got a 24-hour license. We can provide late night refreshment at 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. So that means 24 hours. We have an alcohol license till 2 o'clock in the morning. It starts again at 5. So there's only a small window where we're restricted from selling alcohol. So we put in an application. We don't expect to sell a lot of alcohol between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock. We spoke to the people at the store this morning. They don't have any issues. They don't experience difficulties with the license till 2 o'clock. They close the doors at about 10:30 at night, so they're operating through a night pay window already, and then they open in the morning, and there don't seem to be difficulties. We had a representation from your police licensing officer, Nicola Cooper, who actually went to the premises. Following her visit to the premises, she came back to me with saying, "Also, it's fine, but I'd like to update the conditions." And we've agreed those conditions. Importantly, some of those conditions are what we call street drinking conditions. So no single cans and no high strength. So 1 or 2 products that we saw this morning that will need to come off the shelf today, if you are minded to grant the application. And that will apply for 24 hours a day, not just during extended periods. So the white cider. Again, I did ask the question, how often are you selling this white cider? Is there somebody coming in several times a day? But there are some sorts of product that can cause concern. Not presenting a difficulty here, but it will come off the shelf. So Nicola Cooper agreed the application. We both agreed that conditions 15 and 16 are a bit redundant on the licence as it is at the moment. So that's the pub watch for us to participate in a pub watch partnership scheme. Tends not to involve the off-licence premises, it's more for the pubs, and then the reducing the customer flow footfall data. Nicola was happy for that condition to be removed as well. So conditions 15 and 16 would come off, but the new conditions would be those mainly CCTV, then no sale single can beer, cider lager, no super strength beers, lager ciders at 6.5 or above. And then cider must not be sold in the large bottles over 2 litres or more, so it's 1 bottles. So that left us with the town council objection from Amy Story, in which she said that the councillors worked hard with the neighbourhood police to address the problem of street drinking and social behaviour prevalent in the town centre. So I wrote to Amy and said, we've reached agreement with the police, here are the conditions that we've agreed with the police, are you satisfied? And the response came back, no, she would want this to go to hearing. So it's a little bit disappointing given that her representation speaks for the police, but the police have actually indicated that they're satisfied with the application. So when I said that the police were here, I'm a bit disappointed in it because we did feel this was one that couldn't be dealt with outside of the committee the committee room. So if the town council had withdrawn their representation, we wouldn't be here today. It would have been granted. Well, your policy allows the shops generally to match their trading hours. So that's your policy. And the in my notes, it says section 182 guidance of April 2018 also say the shops should be able to match their trading hours unless there are good reasons based on the license objectives to restrict those hours. I'm very pleased to say that the policy was updated on the 27th of February 2025. It's hot off the press and it repeats the same paragraph as the first paragraph that I looked for. It's still there. So in order for you to refuse the application, you would need good reasons based on the licensing objectives. And dare I say, that does mean we need some evidence that there are good reasons to refuse the application. And Councillor Kravis has really done my work for me by asking the relevant questions of Kate. So I would hope that you're satisfied with this application. Soon as the area manager, NTS has 21 stores in the southwest that are experienced operators. All of their cashiers are trained, as you would expect, refresher trained. They have refusal logs, the usual systems that you would expect. And I'm sure that if Nicola Cooper wasn't satisfied, she would have, of course, smiling. But there has been, I had a number of applications in the area over the last 12 months, and lots of responses with Nicola. So I was delighted that she agreed with this application. That's really all I've got. Very happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. It's good to know we're not relying on Victorian legislation for a change.
Could be approved.
Yeah. Thank you. I just got one question before I go on to the other members of the subcommittee. You did allude to staff training, but how do you ensure staff know what products they can and cannot sell? Is it a certain product's going to be in a separate area, or how does that work?
They wouldn't be delivered to the store, so it would be the ordering would be done centrally. So they will have a system whereby items of over 6.5% wouldn't be placed on the delivery into the store.
So you wouldn't have that sort of sell any time.
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you. Questions from the subcommittee?
Oh, no, Chair, thank you. It's on a similar point. The Licensing Subcommittee paperwork suggests that cider in 2-litre bottles will not be permitted for sale. So your way around that is to ensure it's not ordered in the first place. So it's not there to sell, they can't sell it. But I did notice also that there's no sale of single cans. So, or beer, cider, lager. So, no super strength beer, lagers or ciders, even in 4-packs or 6-packs or whatever, will get into the premises, so they can't be sold.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, that's the clarity I was seeking.
It's not really there now. We had a look there this morning. So
No, but there's a reason why subcommittees don't like to say super strength beers and lagers at a time. So not having them on the premises at all,
we won't sell them.
negates the issue. So thank you, Chair.
Marcus?
Thank you. Yeah, I suppose my questions are, at the moment then, you're fully entitled to sell single cans of beer, cider at any time, and super strength lager and 2-litre bottles of cider. So actually, as part of your application to go 24 hours, actually you've sacrificed what you can sell to do that. I notice it doesn't include bottles in that, but I suppose is that a different?
It tends to be more bottles. Yeah, they tend to be more premium products. The concern generally from officers has been about single cans rather than. I haven't seen a tendency for strength beer in a bottle or a Skull Extra. Those are the types of products that we're talking about.
So no single cans of Carling or Stella, but you can buy a nice beer already.
I think single can of Carling is okay, but not the super strength Carling.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at the conditions as well, actually. And obviously you replace this CCTV ones.
Yes.
And I'm trying to, because obviously those CCTV ones were put after a hearing by the licence authority. I don't know whether that was just a I maybe should have asked the licensing officer this, whether that was a review or whether that was the original application. But I'm now trying to see the difference between the 5 conditions regarding CCTV and the new one of maybe keeping a maintenance log. Is that correct? I mean, are you comfortable with those conditions that you've
I've had
agreed?
so many emails with Nicola on those, trying to explain why our conditions are okay. On this one, I just said, okay. So, there's very little in there that's different. I don't quite agree with, all of the wording. It doesn't need to say that we comply with ICO guidelines. If you start asking what do you mean by ICO guidelines, you go on the ICO website and they've got 50, 60 pages of guidance, which bits are we supposed to comply with. I don't think now is the time and place. Very happy when the hearing's finished, we discuss it, but the purpose of this application, I didn't think there was merit in challenging the wording, but I have challenged it on other applications.
I'm going to come back to this, and I'm sorry, so you've obviously made a long journey. We don't want it all over 10 minutes.
It's still within your remit. It's still within your remit to accept the conditions that are on the license and not impose the condition that. But I am saying that I've agreed Nicola's condition. The decision is for you. If you say, in my view, the conditions on the license are clearer, and they didn't need amending. But Nicola's view, she wanted her wording on every license in this area, and that's where we've come into some disagreement in the past about what license conditions are there for. My view is that there haven't been any issues at this store. They've complied with the conditions on the license. They didn't need an overhaul. So my view is that we wouldn't need the change in the CCTV conditions, but we have agreed. I absolutely agree. The single cams and the 6.5, they have merit. Those conditions. We would agree those straight away. I didn't want to get into protracted correspondence at the cost of my client on just the wording.
Okay, but I mean, one of the problems we've got with that, of course, is if we're fully entitled to say, no, we don't like that, but of course, the police aren't here to put that case across, and that's, we've been agreed with the police, and of course, you've agreed with the police, and whether, it's a big step, well, not necessarily a big step, but they're not here to defend their case, and that's the issue I've got on that being accepted. Can I ask another question on this?
So just on that, perhaps rather naive, I thought that by agreeing those conditions, we would have a hearing. You do have to weigh these things up. Is it worth, was it worth coming here to argue those conditions? No.
Yeah, but of course, we're aware if that schedule of maintenance doesn't get signed, technically you breach your license as a criminal offence, and nobody wants that on somebody forgetting to fill out a maintenance log.
Yeah.
So with can I just come back to another question? I mean, I forgot. Sorry, off that now. Have you, from your own personal experience, because obviously you got the town council's objection, and I think I've seen, now from your experience, have you ever witnessed or seen problems with street drinkers, or are you aware of anything, or are your staff aware that your premises is fueling alcohol consumption by street drinkers, and who these street drinkers actually are, etc.?
Honestly, I'd say no. I haven't personally seen. Well, but first of all, I'm not there on a daily basis or nightly basis by any stretch of the imagination. I visit quite infrequently, if I'm honest, maybe once, twice a month. Is when I'm there on site as an area manager. So I haven't personally seen any issues with street drinkers. Usually, if there are problems, I will be one of the first people to get a phone call, and I can say I haven't had any phone calls regarding Bridgewater, maybe outside, but I haven't had any issues. No, sure.
And we spoke to the staff this morning, and they were comfortable. They don't have
I suppose because although we might not have any problems with license or any complaints, you're not aware of your petrol station being a hub for people walking around the streets and sitting around having a drink.
No, I think my experience with Nicola Cooper, she'll report that to my attention.
Unfortunately, the police licensing officer is not here, so we can't ask her. I must, just say, I'm slightly, in fact, I'm more than disappointed that the town council can make a representation like they did and haven't bothered to turn up for the hearing. And I would just like to put that on record. And, you can't make a representation like they did. In fact, I wouldn't say any. I mean, obviously, we have members of the public often make representations that may be, slightly, lengthy and everything else. But this is quite damning. This is quite a big representation from a town council, so it's not an individual. And I think if a town council is going to make a representation like that, they should have at least the courtesy to turn up. Thank you, Chair.
I think we all agree with that, Marcus, and perhaps we can note that. Right, if I could ask if any of the licensing officers wish to ask any questions.
No, thank you, Chair.
Yeah. Legal officer? Thank you very much. We now move on to responsible authorities, but there are none here because you have come to an agreement with the police. There are no other persons to present their case and call any witnesses. So we're moving on very quickly here. So really, we're going to the summing up situation. So if you just wish to briefly sum up, be brief, Robin, because you'd like to talk.
I don't get paid by the word. The application is quite clear. We've reached agreement with the police. They are your experts in crime and disorder. So if the issue is about street drinking or crime and disorder, the police will report that to your attention. So I'd ask that you grant the application as agreed with the police. It's obviously in your discretion if you feel that the CCTV conditions, as they are, have merit. I will leave that to you, but I have agreed the conditions with the police. It's a slightly awkward position, but otherwise, if you've got any further questions, whether you're allowed to consider them, I'd be grateful if you come back to me. I'll wait. If you've got any other questions, I'm happy to deal with them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm just sort of comment on the street drinking. It's not really the area where the petrol station isn't really conducive to street drinking. Wonderful.
I was there last night and I'll agree with that.
Yes, they'd be wandering out.
Gardens next to it, but
Wandering out into the traffic. Licensing officer, would you like to sum up?
Thank you, Chair. I won't say too much. We've already sort of touched on your options. So you may grant the application as per the if you like, the position that was reached with the police and the changes with the conditions. You may, as Mr. Bockhai points out, modify the conditions of the licence by altering them, omitting them, or adding new ones. Or you can obviously reject a whole or part of the application. But whichever those you decide to do, it should be because it's appropriate for promotional licensing objectives. And I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for attending. And what will happen now is the subcommittee will retire to make our decision. You're welcome to wait. I don't think it's going to take a considerable amount of time. So if you'd like to wait, you can.
Thank you.
And when we come back, we'll give you our decision. Whatever the decision, you will be advised in writing within 5 working days and have 21 days if you wish to appeal to the local magistrates court. Okay, thank you very much indeed. We'll now retire.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for waiting. Right, we'll go straight to the decision. The subcommittee has decided to grant the application as applied for, as we've got no reason to refuse on licensing objectives. Just as a note, we're disappointed that Bridgewater Town Council have caused the subcommittee, but did not attend. Thank you all very much for your time. I don't know how far you've come, but it was a little way. But have a safe journey home, and thank you all for attending. Thank you. We'll be notified within 5 working days and 21 days to appeal. Sorry.
Is that with the police conditions?
That's with the conditions as in the application, as applied for.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
sorry.